and I'm pretty sure he's going to have a bigger impact with the series moving forward. But that zone definitely kind of shocked the Nuggets, and it would be interesting to see what's going to happen in Game Three.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. I'm a big Kevin Love fan, so I think inserting him to the lineup allowed them to go bigger, which is
Mm-hmm.
exactly what they needed to do because
Mm-hmm.
Aaron Gordon was even bullying them, right? So when
Right,
you put Kevin Love in there, that also gives someone who might not be as fast and athletic as Gordon, but he's big. So he's going to
right.
box Gordon out. He's going to make it difficult for Gordon to catch the ball and get, finish at the rim. And then you're right with Jokic, they were making it very difficult for him. So Jokic wasn't able to just get in the low post, establish position, and get some
Mm-hmm.
easy catches. Right,
Right.
he was working for his positioning, and they were pushing him out. So then he would catch the ball further out, and
Mm-hmm.
obviously, valuable time on that shot clock would wind down. So I think that was a great adjustment, and their shooters got it going, man. Their shooters got it going in that game too. So it was really interesting to see. I think the Nuggets were still in the game, of course, which for me tells me that even with those adjustments, it's not like the Nuggets got blown out.
Right.
And the Nuggets will also now be making adjustments, right, to the
Right.
Heat adjustments. So I think it's going to be an interesting series. But obviously, when the Miami Heat play at home, that's a whole different atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
So what's predictions for Game Three?
Game three, like you said, like you just said, like both coaches are able to make adjustments which benefit the team, their team. So I mean, it's tough. I kind of called the Celtics winning game six, forcing that game seven. I hope they would have pulled it out, but obviously they choked. So I mean, I don't know. Like it's definitely going to be a hard battle tonight. I think Miami, they have continued to believe in themselves, and analytically they're not the team that's everybody knows they're not supposed the team that's supposed to be in the finals. I mean, I think they were the worst defensive team in the regular season. I mean, got near 8 undrafted players. I mean, this I mean, analytically on paper, this is not the team that's supposed to be on the finals. But they just continue to buy into the Heat culture, which is it's a strong culture. I mean, their championship necessarily reflect that. I think, especially compared to like the Celtics or the Lakers, but their culture, I think, their culture continues to build and just owns into their player development year in and year out. So,
Yeah, I mean,
gotta go with
there's
the
no
Heat.
doubting.
I think go with the Heat.
Yeah, yeah, okay, yeah. I'm gonna go with the Nuggets tonight, man. I think the Nuggets were right in that game too. I think the Heat showed you what they could throw at
Mm-hmm.
you, and a lot of threes. These guys were taking and making a lot of threes. So let's see if they can keep up that barrage. I expect the Nuggets to make
Mm-hmm.
their adjustments. So that's my take for Game Three. But more excitingly, did you see the news surrounding Chris Paul?
Chris Paul, man. I mean, it was shocking to see what the Suns organization was just doing, like with the firing of Monty Williams, which is just was just surprising. I mean, previously coach of the year, he just went to the finals within the past 3 years. I mean, they had that terrific run in the bubble, and I mean, it is at the end of the day, the NBA is a business. I mean, but it's like, and I think what they just hired Frank Vogel.
Yeah.
Did they just hire Frank Vogel?
Yep.
I
Yep.
mean, I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how. I mean, resume. I don't definitely resume. They don't even compare. I believe, and I mean, I'm not sure what they expect Frank Vogel to do that
But
Monty Williams didn't do.
let me pause you there, man. Like, so
Uh huh.
Vogel obviously he won the championship in the bubble, right? And then
Yeah,
he
he
had
did.
he had a lot of successful Indiana Pacer teams. So not to say that these guys won championships before the bubble season, but he had those teams with Paul George and
Mm-hmm.
Lance Stevenson and David West and all those guys, and he did a pretty
Mm-hmm.
solid job. And I agree with you. I think Monty was an excellent coach. I really like Monty, but something happened there with Monty, man. Something happened there with Monty, especially between Monty and DeAndre Ayton, and then after now losing over the last 2 years against the first year the Mavericks and this year against the Nuggets, I think it hurt his stock. And obviously, it's, when you lose the locker room or you lose at least part of the locker room, the ownership is forced to make a decision. Do you go with a guy that you've given maximum dollars to in Aiden, even if he's under delivering, or do you go with the coach? So I think it's unfortunate for them. But I was also shocked by the Chris Paul trade in a way that I don't think we really saw this coming. Now, Chris Paul has been banged up for several postseasons in a row now. So, there's questions surrounding his longevity. I think this is the best situation for Chris Paul because now Chris Paul really gets to pick where he goes. And if I'm Chris Paul, I'm not trying to be a starter, man. Or if I'm a starter, I'm not trying to play 30 minutes a game, right? I'm trying to be like a 6th, 7th guy. I'm trying to be the point guard off the bench, control the tempo, lead the second unit, and play for a contender. Where he goes, I have no clue, man. Is this guy going to wind up with the Mavericks? Is he going to wind up with the Bulls? Is he going to wind up with the Heat? Does Kyle Lowry get swapped out and do they bring in Chris Paul off the bench? I don't know, right? I don't know where he could go. I think the reason I like them on Phoenix is because you could surround him with shooters in Booker and Durant, and that makes it easier for him, at least on the offensive side. But those are my thoughts. Where do you think he goes?
I mean, Chris Paul, he's that one generational, I believe, generational point guard that you can put into any system, any organization, and you're going to see results. I think we saw that with OKC. OKC wasn't expected to go as far as they did, but Chris Paul had that, the effect that he has. I mean, you saw it. I mean, you see with every team. You saw it with the Rockets, as they were able to make Western Conference Finals runs and make it as deep as they did. But it just doesn't. Chris Paul, he always seems to get at the tippy top of the staircase, but he doesn't seem to like open the door. So it's hard to say. Of course, I love to see him on the Celtics as a Celtics fan, but I don't think we have the money to do that. So I don't know. It's tough. I think we definitely Celtics. They definitely still missing some type of kind of OG leadership in a way. So there's a definitely I don't know, Chris Paul. Like you say, he's the type of player that he could pretty much pick any destination that he wants to go, because he is that player that can have any effect. They could turn like a team that was shorthanded, like the Milwaukee Bucks, into a champion, what they were a few years ago. So he can pretty much pick and choose where he wants to go.
Yeah, I think he can pick and choose, but I think if he's smart, he has to realize he's got to come off the bench, or he's got to be the fifth best guy on the floor if he's with the starters. He's got. I mean, he's 37, 38 years old, man. He deserves this. He deserves to take a back seat and take it easy. Now, in terms of who we think that the Suns can sign, because remember they're releasing him, so they're not going to get anything for him in return. So what I was going to read to you was a list of players who are either free agents or have player options. So this is a list I compiled, and I'm going to go over it quickly, and you tell me what you think. So James Harden is a guy who's got a player option. You got Kyrie, I believe, who still has a player option. I don't know if he's signed his extension yet. You got Fred VanVleet. You got D'Angelo Russell. You got Russell Westbrook. You got Gabe Vincent from Miami, who's with the Heat right now. You got Dennis Schroeder. You got Trey Jones from the Spurs. You got Ayo Dosunmu from the Bulls, and you got Pat Bev. I'm not gonna read any of the other guys, but those are kind of the some of the guys out there. I mean, who do you think looks good on the Suns?
Those are honorable mentions. I mean, I think the Suns they still believe that they are championship contenders, and with the missing piece, they want to contend next year. So I mean, looking at those options, I mean, James Harden, I'm not sure like if he's kind of developed like the kind of a toxic image over the past couple years. Let's see who else. Kyrie, I'm not sure. You never really know what you're going to get with him, but I think he wants to, stay with Dallas, or we just saw like the rumor he just tried to convince LeBron, so to sign with them. But I think honestly, Fred VanVleet would be a solid pickup for them. I mean, he's a solid point guard. He's won a championship. He contributed to that. He has the underdog mentality, and he's young, so he can still go. I think that would be. Go ahead,
No, I was saying, what do you think about Pat Bev maybe off the bench
Pat Bev.
just to
Pat
bring
Bev,
some defense?
yeah, he's a solid. He's also a solid pickup too. If the Suns can pull that off, which no, I think they believe they got the cap space to do that. They can. I mean, I think any team that has Kevin Durant has the pressure of like winning a championship now. And you saw that with the Brooklyn Nets. It's like as soon as you get Kevin Durant, it's like win a championship now. So
I agree. I think Fred VanVleet was a great recommendation. I think that he's great, but I don't know if they're going to be able to afford him right now. He makes 20 mil. Again, I don't know
mhm,
how the Chris Paul buyout is going to work and how much cap space that's going to open, but I
mhm,
think he definitely would fit with those guys. The guy that I think could be the dark horse, but again, it depends on what type of money Miami's going to throw at him, is Gabe Vincent. So obviously, Gabe Vincent only makes
yeah,
a little under $2 million a year right now. He's definitely up for a huge
mhm,
opening, huge extension. But I think he's young. He's showing you kind of what he can do in terms of providing some good defense. He can
mhm,
also score. He can shoot. He can score off the dribble. He can handle it a
mhm.
little bit. So just some ideas, man. That's kind of what I'm thinking. But it's gonna be interesting to see what the Suns wind up doing.
Right. Yeah, Gabe Vincent, I mean, he is showing like he's also like somebody that carries a chip on his shoulder. I mean, he wasn't I think he went to a mid major. No, I think it was low major actually. And
Hmm.
he went to the G League. I mean, he went undrafted. He's proven his worth right now. So eventually you're going to have to pay him. So,
He's going to get paid this summer, man. There's no question. He's
right.
going to get paid something. So it all
Hmm.
depends on what Miami's willing to offer him and who can maybe swoop him out under Miami's control. So that's what I'm thinking, man. Just wanted that quick check in with you before the game tonight. We got your predictions. You got Miami tonight. I got the Nuggets, and we'll check in before Game 4 again, brother.
Yes, sir. Sounds good.
You have a great rest of the day, man, and we'll chat soon.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
My pleasure, brother. Take care.